So let's have a little chat, shall we? Let's have a little occult chat. This is your host, The Occult View. You have to excuse my voice. I have a cold or a sinus infection or some shit, child. I don't know. But the flu has been going around. I don't think it's the flu because I never really get the flu. I think it's my sinuses and allergies and stuff like that. It's all up in my nose, so bear with me as I make this video. It's not no COVID. Just to be clear, it's not COVID. I took a test. It's not COVID. But let's have a little chat, shall we? Let's have a little occult chat. You know, speaking of colds and stuff, why are people such hysterics about everything now? You tell a person you got a cold, or your sinuses are bothering you, everything is a hysteric. Everything is an emergency. You know, why can't a cold just be a cold? I mean, fuck what happened, you know, back then. Can we live from this point forward and stop making everything into a hysterical state of conscious and unhinged state of consciousness or whatever? Can we just live our lives? A cold is just a cold. Simple as that. For me, it's just a cold. So, but everyone is just, it seems like a lot of people, I'm not going to say everyone, but everyone is on hysteric mode. And it's really, really sad. The state of affairs, the state of consciousness that people live in. People, I'm noticing just by spiritually observing people and their actions, especially Americans. Americans, we've been duped and we've been up under ritual. We are up under ritual. We've been up under ritual for generations. And I know people do not like Donald Trump. I know a lot of people are uncomfortable with Donald Trump. I'm not going to mention that other thing. I'm not even calling Donald Trump a thing, to be honest with you, because I understand Donald Trump. I get him. You know what I mean? That's the devil that I know. And I'm not calling him a devil to say he's evil, but I'm just saying I know that. But that other one, Elon, whatever his name is, I don't know that. That I don't know. I don't want no parts of that. But Trump, I can get with that because I understand that energy. Not saying that I like it, love it, accept it, but I understand it. We are up under ritual in America. And Trump, good, bad, indifferent, no matter how you feel about him, he is here to disrupt the pattern. Remember how Ayanla used to say on her show, she was there to disrupt the pattern of dysfunction? He is here to disrupt the pattern of dysfunction. And Democrats don't like that. And not just Democrats, a lot of people don't like that because people would rather live in their comfortable hells than be confronted with the unbearable truth of what's been going on in this country for so long. All of the fraud, all of the abuses and misuses. I talked to you all about, the DEI stuff and how that really had a negative impact on me personally here in DC and probably other people as well. And not just black people. So let's really have a conversation. And I know what some people are thinking, what does it have to do with the occult? Everything has to do with the occult. because sometimes the occult is mixed in where you can't see it with your eyes. You have to be a spiritualist. See, that's what spiritualists do. We're able to see what you can't. I'm not talking about, the woo woo stuff. I'm talking about being able to pull back the layers and see the occult mechanisms that are involved in putting you up under ritual. Ritual ties into the occult. And the American people, we've been up under ritual. Not everyone, but most of us have been up under ritual. What did Obama really do for black people? That was a question that was posed when I was watching another person's video. Obama could have signed executive orders to make things a lot better for black people during his tenure as president. He served 2 terms. He could have went on an executive order frenzy to really allocate funds to the black community, um, the way that Trump is allocating funds to whomever he wants to, or taking away funds from whomever he wants to. Why didn't Barack Obama yield his black pen, as someone stated perfectly as a question? Why didn't he yield his black pen and write a bunch of executive orders to make things better for black people? As a matter of fact, now that I'm not under that ritual anymore, when I look back clearly, those were some of the worst years of my life. Those were some of the worst years for black people during that time, especially your average black person. Not black people that were in the network that had the mark of the beast. And I'm not talking about biblically. This is above most people's pay grade, what I'm saying. But those people that were marked, everything was going well for them because they were in the network. They were interconnected. But see, now what's happening is you have a new beast in charge, Trump. Excuse me, I had to blow my nose. And Trump is dismantling and disrupting these patterns, good, bad, or indifferent. I know a lot of people don't like him, but doesn't it take the villain a lot of times to wake people up? Because Trump is the certified villain. When you really look at the character or the persona of Donald Trump, he really reminds you of those 80s, 1980s horror figures or 1990s horror figures. They thought they killed Jason in part one. Well, no, that was his mother killing people in part one. They thought they killed Jason in part two, only for him to come back again and again. They thought they killed Freddy Krueger, only for him to come back again and again. Don't you see? That's like it's the same thing with Donald Trump. We thought we thought they had got rid of him in 2020. But what he was really doing was waiting, hibernating, meditating to come back to do exactly what he's doing now. See, the first term was only a warm up for the sequel. See, we're in the sequel now. And now in the sequel, the villain is causing people to wake up. See, Americans, black and white, no matter what your race is, Americans have been asleep and up under ritual. I want to say for the past 30 years or more. We've been comfortable. We've been comfortably going to bed with our bellies full, not having a care in the world, right? Thinking that our public elected officials are going to do what we elected them to do. Not knowing that all of these atrocities were going on behind the scenes. Murder, mayhem, chaos, discrimination, lies, illusions, the Blue Beam Project. And basically, what the Blue Beam Project is, or what it's defined as, is a project that puts people globally up under ritual by making you think that illusions that the powers that be project are real. And while we sit here and wait for blue beam projects to project some type of invasion from outer space, we're not understanding that the real invasion is the invasion of your mind and your consciousness. That's the real invasion. But they have everyone distracted looking up in the air, thinking that something is coming from the air. No, it's not coming from the air. Well, it is coming from the air. It's coming from your TV because that's the air. It's coming from the radio waves, your phones. All of that is air magic. They're putting these people in front of our faces, telling us to love them, telling us to worship them, telling us to believe in them. The American people have been put up under ritual by these politicians. They tell you, let's get this straight. Let's get this straight. And this is no disrespect. But do you notice that the only people that tell you that you shouldn't eat meat are broke motherfucking niggas and bitches? Maybe not in all cases, but in a lot of cases. The people that tell you that eating meat is wrong, and I'm just using that as an example to go into what I'm getting ready to say, right? You have all of these politicians who want to keep you up under ritual. Vote for me and I'll set you free. And I'm not saying that every single politician is bad, but I'm saying that every single politician that I've seen so thus far is bad. Excuse me. They tell us or tell you should keep, and this is for white people too. They keep telling you have to make sacrifices. Oh, we have to make some hard decisions. We have to cut this slash that, cut back on this. But I know you'll understand. While the price of eggs are $9 and $10 in the grocery stores. Oh, well, we have to make some hard decisions. While they take our money and do with it what they want to do, right? They go home to their big mansions, their comfortable mansions with their security, state of the art homes, probably smart homes, freezers full of food, cupboards full of food, their children taken care of, while you can barely afford to put food on the table for your children. And they want us to believe that this shit is the American dream, right? I'm just talking ritual. This is the ritual that people have been, so happy to be under. What type of psychopathic, sociopathic person can go to bed at night with a smile on their face, knowing that a growing number of their constituents are suffering financially, suffering health wise, mentally, physically, spiritually? Because back in ancient times, political leaders were not just there for your carnal needs, they were also there for your spiritual needs as well. But these people are false prophets. They're false. They give you false hope. They give you little bits and pieces of information when it comes to spirituality because they think you're stupid, dumb, and delayed, and they don't think that you deserve to know the full story or the truth. So they tell you to go without. They tell you that sacrifices must be done or made while they're sacrificing you and your family. Now, I don't have any children, so I'm speaking to the people that have children who this is affecting, who are hard workers, entrepreneurs, who are out here trying to make it. And you've been up under this ritual believing in what these people have been telling you, whether you're Democrat or Republican, because all of them are fucked up. There is no republic anymore. This is a dictatorship. And they're trying to turn it into um, a dystopian type of energy. The only place that you can really afford eggs is Walmart or Aldi's or maybe Lidl's. Now, of course, I can afford to buy the $9, $10 eggs, but who wants to do that? So we have to go without eggs because you motherfuckers want to play these ritualistic games with our money. And this is the shit that we're supposed to believe in. And I see so many people believing in it. So what gives? What gives? We put people in place and in position that should not be in place and in position. You know, I have a new guilty pleasure. I watch on YouTube a lot of these police footage videos where they are arresting a lot of these clowns. And you know what the scary thing is? A lot of these people that they are arresting, these are people with good high profile jobs. Well, not maybe not high profile, but like one example. This is the scary thing about social media and being up under ritual. There was a police footage camera that showed a female police officer, she was white, arresting a black man. Come to find out, he was a corrections officer. And from what I understand, there were smaller, shorter clips of this incident. And in those, excuse me, in those shorter or smaller clips, it made it appear as if that man, the black corrections officer, it made it appear that he was a victim of racism. But when you actually saw the whole clip, you got the full scope of what was going on. He was disgruntled. He was mentally ill. He suffered from bipolar, according to his own acknowledgement. He was nasty. He was disrespectful. He called that police officer all types of B's out of her name. He was truly a menace. And the thing is that he really thought in his mind, he thought he was correct. And I forget why they pulled him over, but they pulled him over and they had a legitimate reason for pulling him over. And 9 times out of 10, they do. But you all, not the people that watch me, but out there, but they told us, they put people up under ritual to tell you to defund the police. They told us that we should defund the police department. That's what Black Lives Matter told us, right? They told us to defund the police department And where's Black Lives Matter now? Oh, they're writing books and making money off of the suffering and pain of other black people. Like that Tamika Mallory that Cora Masters Berry supports. She's signing, doing book deals and everything else now. You notice you don't hear them talking about coming together or congregating anymore to fight for justice or any type of activism because that ritual has ended now because they got what they wanted. DEI, right? DEI. You see the type of rituals they put people up under? But that police officer that they locked up, that black guy that they locked up, he was so nasty and so disrespectful and so emotionally violent. He should not be in a position of a corrections officer. Then again, maybe that's appropriate for him because they need, maybe because he said he keeps people in line. But that type of person, he's not just, that type of person is just not in the field of corrections, being a corrections officer. These types of people are in every facet of life. They're working in every aspect of life. Just because you're smart at doing something doesn't mean you should be doing it. Because sometimes people mistake intelligence with emotional intelligence. You can be intelligent, but a lot of people that I have seen in different arenas, they lack emotional intelligence. And there's a difference. See, emotional intelligence is backed up with wisdom. Let me say that again. Emotional intelligence is backed up with wisdom. Just being intelligent does not cut it. You have to have emotional intelligence. And a lot of these people that are put in place and in position, they don't have emotional intelligence. They don't. Black people need to take back the word woke because that word has been misused and abused. Because now woke has become a bad thing. That derived out of the black conscious community. And what that means is, and I'm going to break it down in my own spiritual interpretation. The word woke is not about canceling people. It's not about forcing yourself on people or enforcing, standards or agendas on people. So all of the people who are anti-woke, let me me let me simplify it for you so you can understand what the terminology really meant. Being woke meant that you had wisdom. It did not mean that you went and got into a cult or a group or that you were behind an agenda or that you were put in place to counsel somebody simply because you didn't like their views. Now, some people deserve to be canceled. Let's be honest. Some people deserve to be canceled. But just because you have a different thought or a different opinion on something, that should not warrant a person to be canceled. We're talking on a human level now. Woke was never meant to be used or weaponized to deter people from speaking their mind. Woke was supposed to be something that validated your wisdom and your knowledge, your emotional intelligence. That's what woke was supposed to be about. But somebody took that information and they saw that they could profit off of it and they could create subcultures and subgroups using the terminology woke, which derived once again from the black conscious community when it was in its prime and when they were doing the things they were supposed to be doing. And it wasn't about podcasts and making money and exploiting people. Because I don't get no money from this shit. This is real wokeness right here, what I'm doing. looking at everything in a broad perspective, wokeness ties into the occult. And it had nothing to do with canceling someone because you disagreed with them. It had nothing to do with canceling someone because they had a different point of view than you. That's not being woke. That's not having wisdom. That's being a dictator. That's being a bully. And that is where the defining line has been kind of shaky. Woke was not about whining and complaining because somebody didn't accept you because you're gay. I'm gay, and I don't give a fuck who don't accept me. I don't accept you either, bitch. How about that? That's what being woke is. Not crying about it and trying to tear the person down. And, no, that's not what woke is because we have wisdom to back us up. So if you have the spirit, which is wisdom backing you up, who can be against you? If somebody don't like you because you gay, they just don't fucking like you. Long as they're not trying to get in my path and trying to do me harm. But see, that's where the problem comes in because a lot of times at that during that time, not so much now, but during that time when people did not like you because you were gay, they would try to do something about it. I don't give a fuck who doesn't like me because of my sexual orientation. But that doesn't mean that I'm going to have all of this animosity towards heterosexual people, especially heterosexual men. I get along with heterosexual men. If they get along with me, if they're respectful, I don't care if they're black or white. I don't have an issue with heterosexual white men. Heterosexual white men have an issue with themselves. And that's no disrespect. They have an issue with what they're seeing going on in their country, in the country, not their country, but the country, because now the pattern is being disrupted by the very same people that most of them put in office. And I don't think that they can take this change because what they voted for is not what they're getting. Then again, maybe it is. I don't know. But I don't have an issue with straight white men saying I'm straight, I'm strong. I don't have an issue with that. As long as you're not infringing on my right to exist. If you infringe on my right to exist, then that's where we got a problem. Same thing with straight black men. I don't have an issue with that. I don't have an issue with a black man or a white man saying straight pride. What's wrong with that? I don't have an issue with that. They can say that. Now, me personally, pride in a sexual orientation to me is irrelevant because I'm not defined by what I'm attracted to. And I'm only speaking for me. I'm not defined by who I'm attracted to. I'm defined by my character and my integrity and how I carry myself. I'm not perfect, not trying to be. The pursuit of perfection leads to the pursuit, I'm sorry, the pursuit of perfection leads to destruction. And the way wokeness has been readjusted, they're trying to pursue perfection. And you're not going to, you can't. Even AIs are not perfect. The illusion is that AIs are supposed to be a perfected species or being or whatever or technology, but even that has flaws. The pursuit of perfection has led to multiple civilizations being destroyed. Atlantis, Egypt, Kemet, whatever you want to call it, Atlantis, Lemuria, and even other civilizations we never even heard of, possibly even Tartaria. Because civilizations are never just happy being where they're at. They always want to go further. Like in Atlantis, I feel like we're up under the Atlantis effect sometimes. Because in Atlantis, they were doing experiments with humans and animals and stuff like that. I think we're living in a modern day Atlantis. And I think that the real cataclysm that happened in Atlantis, I think it's all allegorical and symbolic, or metaphorical rather. I don't think that it was necessarily a global cataclysm. I think it was a spiritual conscious cataclysm, a cataclysm of the consciousness. During the times of Atlantis, there was a spiritual war at that time as well. World War III has already started, you guys. And World War III is psychological and it's spiritual. And that is what they are not telling people. World War III is the war against your mind. And it's been going on for a very long time. I noticed it in 2001 after the 9/11 attacks. You can't put your faith in politicians. They have all failed you. They have failed us. You have to put your faith in the spirit, whatever that means for you. I'm not here to dictate and tell you what to believe. That's on you, whether it be, whatever. That's on you. You see, Wes Moore, the governor of Maryland, he got his nigga wake up call. He tried to work with Trump and said, "Oh, I'm gonna work with President Trump. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do that. We gotta listen to what he say." Child, he met President Trump, and Trump gave him his nigga wake up call. Now Wes Moore has changed his tune. I don't care for Wes Moore. I don't care for him. Something that rubs me the wrong way about him. He's an elitist. He's a black elitist. And if he's a black elitist, he is equivalent to a white supremacist. And what people have to understand too is that a white supremacist has nothing to do with an average white person. That's another species. You all think that they just accept, and a lot of people, not the people that watch me, I want to be clear. People think that white supremacists and these groups, that they just go out randomly choosing different white people to be a part of their brotherhood. No, it is based upon bloodline, genealogy, and genetics. Same thing with black elitist. And what's happening here in the DC area, a lot of black elitists are getting worried. They're worried because Trump is disrupting what they put in place for themselves. Remember the video I did? Remember the video that I did about a week or two ago about DEI and ancestral debt? they were supposed they were supposed to take what they had gotten from spirit, and they were supposed to help distribute that to help lift up the black race. But instead, they became elitist. They became elitist and they only thought about themselves. So now what's happening, I guess you can say in layman's terms, it's karma in some ways. Because they forgot about spirit. Because spirit was yelling at them, hey, I didn't tell you to do this way. I told you to do this way. But no, they didn't do that. There is truth in the saying that it's not about the people that you tear down, it's about the people that you help lift up. And sometimes you may not even have a cent in your fucking name. You may not have a dollar to your fucking name sometimes. But sometimes the spirit or the universe or God or the divine spirit, whatever you want to call it, sometimes it has a calling for your life and a calling for you that is greater than what you think your problems are. You feel what I'm saying? Donald Trump is necessary to wake people up, not to obsess over hating him, but to make you look at yourself and say, you know what? Maybe I didn't do that the way that I was supposed to. Maybe I messed up on that, or maybe I wasn't paying attention to that the way that I was supposed to be paying attention to it. You know what I'm saying? Excuse me. Maybe it's time I start paying attention to this in my life. Because you can create your own reality. But that's right, they have you up under ritual where you are expecting someone else to create it for you, like your governors, your mayors, your presidents, your senators, et cetera, et cetera. You don't believe in the spirit or yourself anymore. You only believe in governors, governments, and politicians to save you. You don't believe in, and I'm not saying that they don't have that that's not a necessary part of civilized society, but these group of people that we have now are corrupt. They are elitist. They are almost like cavemen that have been given sophisticated technology and they really don't know what to do with it. But things are shifting, realities are changing. Some people are being elevated to higher vibrations and frequencies. Some people are, being, left in the lower vibration that they were in. So where are you? And if you're still up under those rituals, then, you know, those rituals of fake hope, fake light, the ones that Obama put everyone up under. And nothing got better for black people. As a matter of fact, things got worse. You mean to tell me that nobody's questioning how under Obama's presidency, so many black men and women were brutalized by the police? But we don't have questions about that. But these are the rituals that they put people up under. That's where the occult comes in. Trump is a wake up call. The villain is the one, excuse me, and I'm being metaphorical when I say this. I'm not really speaking about Trump per se, but he is the villain. But take him out of the equation. The villain is the one who always speaks the truth. They may speak in riddles, but the villain, the one that everyone attacks, is the one who speaks the truth. Just like in Dynasty. Let's go back to Dynasty. Alexis was telling the truth about Blake. Blake wasn't shit. For real, he wasn't shit. So what, she had an affair. He banished her from her children for damn near 20 years. And she came back and got that ass too, didn't she? She came back and got that ass. She tore that ass up, didn't she? People should go and look at Dynasty. Dynasty is a good case study for the human mind and the human condition and, just, all of those hidden emotions. Dynasty is a good case study for the occult. Alexis told the truth that Blake and his family wasn't shit. She told the truth. even though she was villainized and vilified. Not saying that Alexis was perfect, but she told the truth, even about Crystal. That's why I used to get up under her skin so much when Alexis would tell her, bitch, I know what you about. And suffice to say, Joan Collins is a Gemini too. I'm just, talking ritual, the villain, the occult. That's all. While I blow my nose and deal with this fucking sinus cold or whatever the fuck I got. I'm starting to get a little bit better though. We are living under the Blue Beam Project already. The Blue Beam Project is social media. The Blue Beam Project started with social media. Social media is the Blue Beam Project. Social media has people's minds manipulated. They think that everything in social media is real. And on a side note, rest in power to the great Roberta Flack, who passed away yesterday at that good old age of 88. Rest in power to that powerful sister. Just wanted to say that. One of my favorite songs by her is Oasis. I know most people know her from by the song Killing Me Softly. And I also like, I think she sung The Closer I Get to You. Didn't she sing that? We've been up under the Blue Beam Project, though. We've been up under it. It's not about no fake alien invasion. Yep, that's Roberta Flack. The Closer I Get to You. So rest in power to her. But we've been up under the Blue Beam Project. People thought that the Blue Beam Project was going to be about some fake alien invasion using CGI technology. No, that's what they want you to believe. While they're over here doing the real Blue Beam Project, using all of the most, how can I put this? Using the usual suspects: race, sexual orientation, politics, sex, and religion. Frances Cress Welsing, she tried to tell us about it. She told us about that in the Cress theory of color. White people are just as much victim to this Blue Beam Project as black people. They want you to believe that white people are on top, but white people, you're not on top. You're victims too. You're victims too. You're not on top. They gave you the illusion that you were on top. They gave you the illusion, and now the illusion is breaking down. And now they're doing you without Vaseline too. They're taking your hard earned money too. And they're fucking you over too. And that shit is wrong too. I'm not going to sit here and pretend like every single white person on the planet is evil and demonic. I'm not going to sit here and do that. And I'm being layman when I say demonic because of course, I know that demons are not all evil. I know that. I don't know all white people, and neither do you. I don't know all black people, and neither do you. I know that some white people can be racist as a motherfucker. I know a lot of them probably can be. But I also can look past that, not excuse it. But as an occultist, I'm trying to get to the nitty gritty of why they're like that. See, my emotions are not stuck in, oh, they don't like me because I'm black. You're right. Do you know that sometimes when you call a person like that a racist, that empowers them? When you call a racist person a racist, sometimes that empowers them because some of them, they walk and relish in their hatred and racism. Sometimes studying them and having an understanding of why they are the way they are, because the reason a lot of them are the way that they are, because the number one thing is they are afraid. They are afraid and they are insecure, and they don't know which way to turn. And the easiest route to go is hatred, because hatred is very seductive, and it's very, very seducing to a group of people who are easily put up under mind control. And unfortunately, white people, you all are very easy to put up under mind control. I'm not saying that makes you bad people, but that is how you're so easily seduced by hatred, because you're easy to put up under mind control. And that is why a lot of things end up happening, unfortunately, to a lot of white people, a lot of horrible things, being unalived and stuff, because you're easily seduced, especially if it's another white person. Of course, they ain't gonna fuck with somebody like me like that. Of course not. You know what I mean? Because they've been taught that black people are horrible people and we all murder, maim, and do all that type of stuff. FBI statistics and stuff like that. And I get it, I got it, because it's all ritual. It's all ritualistic and it's by design. They tell you that so they won't, so I'm sorry, so you won't pay attention to what they're really doing to you. We talk about how black men have been effeminized, but have you all seen how they have effeminized white men? White men were the epitome of manhood in this country. They have effeminized white men so much, and I'm a gay man saying that. The white men that I was raised around, they were manly men. They were manly men. Whether I liked them, good, bad, or indifferent, they were manly men. I had white male teachers coming up. I grew up in a multicultural environment. Okay? And the white teachers that I had back then, they were manly men that didn't take no motherfucking shit. I remember my gym teacher's name was Mr. Droder. Manly, alpha, masculine man. Do you see how nobody talks about that. Have you seen how they have effeminized the image of the white man in America? We talk about black men being effeminized, but what about how they have effeminized white men? Look at how they've effeminized your image. And in your place, they put the Indian man and the Arab man over top of you. But see, you're so busy hating black people, you don't see how the ritual that you're under has been chipping away at your soul too. Even though some people say white people don't have souls, I don't know. I'm not here to debate that. I'm here to have a real conversation. I'm not saying they do, I'm not saying they don't. But nobody is safe from what's happening. Nobody. Unless you're spiritually grounded. And I'm not talking about Christianity per se. That will only get you but so far. Because Christianity is another thing that has been bastardized and it has been perverted, and they've taken the spirituality out of it and they've turned it into this. Have you ever been swallowed? Have you ever just felt like you've been swallowed and all that shit? It's turned into a comedy show. So let's really take a good look at ourselves and the rituals that have been forced upon us. Has it been benefiting you? The illusion is over, and people don't want to wake up. See, that's the thing. This is the awakening that you all were waiting for. and your comfort zones and your comforts are being taken away from you. But anyway, I just wanted to have a little chat. This is just a little chatty chat. This is no offense to anybody. I don't have any hatred or maliciousness towards anybody. I'm just telling you as I see it that something is not right. Something is not right. But anyway, this is the occult view, and that's all I have to say. Thank you.